Welcome to Evolution. My name is Andre Lawrence, and this is my channel about the transition from gas-powered cars to electric cars from the perspective of a first-time EV owner. And both of these are the Kia Niro EV SX Touring top trim, but this one is a brand new 2020, whereas mine is 1 year old and the 2019 model. If you want to know the difference between the two, stick around and I'll let you know in 10 seconds. When I said that this car was brand new, the owner picked it up on May 18th, only a few days ago, so this is really, literally a brand new car. Now this 2020 Niro EV SX Touring has only one difference that I could find after spending some time walking around the vehicle. In the outside, the only thing is the rear taillights. Everything else is exactly the same as in the 2019. That includes all of the LED lighting and the chrome details on the car, the cameras, you name it, it's all the same.
I thought it would be worthwhile to give you a side-by-side comparison view of the 2020 and the 2019 Kia Niro EV. Now, as you can tell, I filmed this on 2 separate days at 2 separate locations because I didn't want to keep the guy waiting while I filmed a whole bunch of B-roll stuff. So I filmed my 2019 at my house. The sun isn't exactly the same exposure, so the color looks different, but both of these cars are gravity blue. They look dark without the sun, and in some cases almost black. As you can tell, the cars are pretty much identical except for the taillights. One thing to note is I have aftermarket wheels on my car. These aren't the stock rims, so you can ignore that difference.
On the 2020, the taillights are a little bit different. They're more of a sealed and flush design. On the 2019, my car, and I'll show a little inset of that up here, the rear tail light has the same shape, or very similar, almost identical shape, but has a bit of a protrusion around the outside edge, and the flasher for each side is a transparent plastic with a yellow bulb. Now my personal taste is this particular look, but a bit of a hybrid. I would prefer that the flasher be yellow. So I wish Kia would have this design with a yellow flasher. But other than that, this vehicle outside is exactly the same. The differences are really on the inside. Let's have a look. When you sit in the 2020 model year of the Kia Niro EV, it's when you notice where the big differences are. The dashboard of the vehicle has been redesigned significantly to add some piano black finish all over the place, which in my opinion is a bad idea because fingerprints and dust love piano black finish. And it is on the left side, completely across the dash, but it was all done to accommodate the 10.25-inch touchscreen display that replaces my 8-inch touchscreen display in my car.
And here's a close-up view of what the 2020 Niro EV dash looks like. As you can tell, they've got the piano black plastered pretty much everywhere, even around the gauge cluster. Here's that really nice 10.25-inch touchscreen display. I want to pause the video here and give you a side-by-side comparison of the touchscreen areas. I definitely prefer the new vents, and the touchscreen being flush is a nicer look. The biggest benefit of the touchscreen being 10.25 inches, making it extra wide, is that it allows you to have something in the main window, but also to have a secondary app running on the right side. So you can have climate control or your radio running while you're looking at your map or your EV settings. Something that they've added in 2020 is ambient lighting on the dashboard. Now I've got it around the shifter console, but I don't have it on the dash like this. As you can see from this shot, they've got a LED strip that goes the complete length of the passenger side. The center part of the dashboard below the touchscreen is where more things are different. They've relocated the air vents to this place, and they've also relocated and rearranged the way the buttons are that relate to the touchscreen and for the entertainment system. I'll get back to this center section in a minute. Everything below that is exactly the same as in 2019 with regards to the climate control, wireless charging pad, USB plugs, etc. And one last detail, more ambient lighting LED strip on the dash on the driver's side.
The cluster in the center of the driver's seat is pretty much the same. The rest of the layout is pretty much identical from here down, but on the left side there are 5 button positions, this one being empty. Now I'm guessing that this is because this was originally for a European car, which has the VES on off button, which we don't have in Canada or the US. On the other side, in the middle of the dash, you've got the buttons that have been redesigned for the touchscreen, the media control buttons, and that is to accommodate that new piano black design with the vents that are now below the touchscreen. So what's different in the actual use of the touchscreen? Let me show you.
This is the main screen that you see when you start the car. The advantage of the 10.25 inch screen is that you can see multiple things at the same time. If you see some of these things changing without me actually touching the screen, it's because I'm using the control buttons right below the vents. When you press the radio button on the dashboard, the media screen pops up. Right now it's connected to the user's cell phone. When you press the setup button below the vents, it brings you to the all menu screen just like in the 2019, except everything is displayed on one screen because it's extra wide. Pressing the general button brings you to the same menu that you have in the 2019. If you press the software info and update menu, you get the current version that's in this 2020. Accessing the vehicle menu is where things start to get interesting. I discovered a feature that the 2020 has that my car doesn't, and I'm a little bit annoyed because it's a very cool feature. It has the regular driving mode settings, but just below the drive mode settings is something called climate. Using these settings allows you to set the car to auto dehumidify or auto defog and defrost options. I find these settings really interesting and I wish my car had them. Another menu that I found in the settings is user profile. This is something new for 2020. What's really interesting is that it allows you to set up a user profile for each driver, or depending on how you feel, you can set up 2 different profiles for yourself with different settings. If there's one feature that I wish my 2019 Niro EV had, it's the one I'm about to show you. Tapping on many of the menus, it brings up a list of the same things that you generally see in my 2019, but when I tapped on the advanced menu and I scrolled to the bottom of the list, I saw something that I've wanted in my car from the very beginning. Extend rear camera use. This feature allows the rear view camera to stay active after shifting from reverse to drive, and it'll stay active up to a certain speed. The weird thing is that it says up to a certain speed in the description of the feature, but there doesn't seem to be a setting that I can see to determine what that speed is. The last thing of note in the features is the split screen setting. This allows you to choose which features show up in the split screen view.
Before I continue with the comparison of the model years, I just want to let you know that if you're interested in behind-the-scenes pictures as well as advance notice on upcoming videos, you can follow me on Instagram. Here's my Instagram tag. And I'm also on Facebook. You can find me as Andre Lawrence, but I also have an e-Volution page, which is at this tag. I'll put links to both of those in the description below, and that's really all I wanted to say, so please follow me and let's continue.
One of the things that I noticed immediately when I saw the car the first time were the seats. When I originally ordered my Niro, I wanted it to have the leather seats with blue piping, but my car arrived with white piping. I'm not sure if you can see it in this video, but when you get close, the perforations in the leather in this car have a blue tint. In my car, they're more of a gray color. When it comes to under the hood, the 2020 Niro EV is pretty much identical to my 2019. Here you've got the heat pump, you've got the brake fluid reservoir, and the only difference that I noticed was the color of the antifreeze that's blue as opposed to mine that's more of a greenish color.
Something to note that may be important to you is that this 10.25 inch touchscreen in the 2020 Kia Niro EV is also the same touchscreen that you'll find in the Kia Soul EV as well as in the Hyundai Kona Electric. So lots of these menus will be pretty much identical and the features should be the same as long as we're talking about the top trim vehicle. Now, I know I say it in almost every video, but for my last video, which was particularly popular, I'll put a link to that up here, I wanted to say a big thank you because I was able to get, in the space of a few days, over 100 subscribers, putting me currently at about 2,500 subscribers, or just short thereof. I'm getting really close to my 3,000 subscriber goal, and I would really appreciate if you could click the subscribe button because it shows me that you appreciate what I do and motivates me to make more content. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for future videos, please put them in the comment section below. I do respond, I do answer questions that you might have, and as always, once again, thanks for watching. Welcome to e-Volution. This is my and if you want to know what the difference between this year and the last year model is, stick around and that sucked completely. And these are the, little excited there, Andre, where it's completely flush like this, but have a lighter colored light. When you sit in the 2020 model year of the Kia Niro,